Namaste, everyone. And as they say in Chinese, 恭喜发财. So that means 恭喜 is like congratulations. 发财 is be prosperous, make lots of money. And so, anyway, before we start, let's ask for a blessing, shall we? To the Divine Supreme One, Divine Father, Mother, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, to all the saints of all traditions, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Personally, to my teacher, Grandmaster Tuak Hok Sui, Mahaguji Meiling, with thank you for divine light, divine love, guidance, help, healing, protection. Thank you for blessing us with a loving heart, intelligent mind, and a powerful will that we can be of service to others. In full faith, so it is. All right, so we'll just make this short, just give you a little bit of background. So, you notice how come I'm wearing red? Well, growing up, we were told to wear red on birthdays, New Year's Day, like Chinese New Year, and whatever good occasion. Now, for some of you who are going to go, hey, why red? It's not like, it's Christmas or whatever. A lot of it has to do with the color red, and a lot of you have taken advanced pranic healing, pranic psychotherapy. You guys know this. Your chakras. The basic chakra, at the base of your spine, has the most amount of red prana. And I know a lot of you are new, so it's not just red. Your basic chakra actually has red, orange, and yellow. Okay? So this red energy is the color of prosperity. I know a lot of people in the United States, they say, oh, the color of prosperity is green. Nope, not even close. It's just that in the U.S., the greenback, the money is green, so people think, oh, money is green. But prosperity energy, I'm talking about the frequency, is red. That activates your basic chakra. Okay? So in the Chinese tradition, like bright red, I know, some people go, what the heck with this red? That's why. And it's an energy of expansion. In fact, many years ago, I remember my teacher telling me, he said, in feng shui, you heard of feng shui before, how the word feng shui, in Chinese, feng is wind, shui is water. It describes the fluidic nature of energy. And he said in feng shui, when they say a place is auspicious or prosperous, if you have somebody who could see energy, you actually see from the ground little like lights coming off, like laser beams of white light coming out of red light, very, 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 very faint. Okay? So whoever is there, their butt's being poked. No, I'm kidding. What happens is their basic chakra is constantly being stimulated. Okay? Now, by the way, some of you who are watching this on YouTube, we're not broadcasting YouTube with some technical difficulties. So we're just having on Facebook and the other Facebook and the Pranic Healing websites and Instagram. Okay? Well, we did what we could. Anyway, so the basic chakra gets activated with red energy. Now, to just kind of talk about tradition a little bit, that's why I remember growing up, every time there's a party, a birthday party, at least these are Chinese people in the Philippines and Taiwan and some places. Every time there's a birthday, and you would see, literally, you will literally see that, what do you call this, like a red tide. Families, the entire family would walk in the restaurant all wearing red. And if you wear black, you're screwed, man. The grandpa, grandma will slap you. Either verbally or physically. Go, get out of here. Or if you're all white. Because some Chinese people, they think, you go to a funeral, it's all black. Some Chinese people think it's all white. So if you want to be safe, either be neutral. If you want to be happy with the family, wear red. Now, let's take it one step further. You'll notice when you go to a Chinese restaurant, oftentimes you will see an altar on the ground, okay? And the altar on the ground, you might think, that doesn't make much sense. Normally you have the altar up here, because when you pray like this. You don't go like that, right? So the question is, why is the altar on the floor? And to make it more interesting, you have a little, like statue there, and then you have little lamps, and sometimes they put fruits and eggs. So some of you who are Chinese, you know what I'm talking about. And some of you go, yeah, we know that. You don't have to tell these, non-Chinese people. But you have to understand the deeper truth behind it. You see, what happens is this. And this one I'm going to kind of put it together for you. Life does not only exist in the physical plane or the physical dimension. Life exists physically in the emotional world or the astral world, the mental world, and the other spiritual worlds. So if there are beings like us that populate the physical world, you have to realize simultaneously we also exist in the emotional world and the mental world. And so in that dimension, there are also energy beings. For example, you could have a physical radio. You turn it into AM station, and you're broadcasting AM, right? But simultaneously, these radio waves are crisscrossing all over. If you just flick a switch, you're on FM, interpenetrating. So what happens is this, and I know some of you who are new, this might weird you out or freak you out, and frankly, I don't care. Because if you can't handle it, then too bad for you, because you're losing out. Here's what happens. In nature, there are these energy beings that are called, in theosophy, the form builders, the construction workers. Okay? So what happens is, these form builders are certain classes of angelic beings that handle materialization. In other words, materialization is essentially, if you have a thought, you have an idea, that first manifests almost like a hologram in your mental world, your mental body. And the more you think about something, oh yeah, I want to make this much money, I want to have a new car, I want to have, a partner, whatever it is that you want, it's just a thought. Now, when it's in that mental world, there are certain angelic beings that are nurturing it. Those are angelic beings in that dimension. Then, when you think about it enough, they help you guys, these guys help you out, and you start noticing, yeah, the more I think about it, it's getting clearer in my mind. You know why? Because you're getting some help. If you have good karma, a lot of these angelic beings are going, oh yeah, let's give it a little more energy. Because unless it has sufficient energy, this thought form cannot move down to the emotional world. That's why there are a lot of people who are very smart, and their life is still a big fat mess. Because they have ideas, but they somehow cannot drag that idea down to the emotional world and then down to the material world. Make sense? So it requires a certain amount of good karma to do that, and certain effort. Anyway, that's not the purpose of this, because we're supposed to talk about the bull, the ox, and all that. But this is just to give you a framework. So from there, it goes to the emotional world. And that's why you notice, if you think about, oh yeah, I like that new car, new watch, new this, new that, right? And the more you think about it, at some point, you don't think about it anymore. You get excited. You go, yeah, I would really look good in that new car when I'm driving, people, this. And you start feeling it. Make sense? So when you're feeling it, guess what's happening? You've dragged that thought down to the emotional world. And in the emotional world, there are also angelic beings. Okay, first of all, before we continue, again, don't get fixated. Oh, angels are like the Archangel Raphael. They're the super high-class angels. Okay? There are many, there are many ranks. So in between them and your personal guardian angel, there are many ranks in between. And they're in charge of everything happening in the energy world. Okay? Now, so these astral angelic beings, again, based on your good karma, what you attract, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about. Oh yeah, I believe in the law of attraction. If you really understand the law of attraction, you know what you do? You will regulate your emotions. You know why? Because the law of attraction says whatever you have, that's what you attract. Not just energy, but energy beings or angelic beings. So when a person is always very loving, very happy, very generous, caring, the emotional body vibrates at a certain frequency, and the law of attraction will start attracting, like a beacon, attracting angelic beings that are very loving and gentle and caring. So a person who's always pissed off all the time, they're also harnessing the law of attraction, bringing problems to their life, because they attract lower angelic beings. Make sense? So as this energy drags down to the emotional world, okay, let's stay positive. You go, oh yeah, I want that new car. Yeah, no, I feel it. It looks good on me when I'm driving. It makes me feel prosperous, also, whatever. So when that emotion gets really, really intense, it hits a certain point. I'd say it hits a certain, not really a break point, but a certain, something, how do you call it? Let's just call it a certain climax. When it hits that point, it starts moving down into the etheric and physical world. So that process, as it's going down, are all being helped by certain energy beings. Now, I know I'm weirding some of you guys out, but just hear me out. So what happens from there, by the time it gets to the lower worlds, just lower frequency, closer to the material world, there's also a big boss. So in India, they call that great being Lord Kubera, the Lord of the North. Okay? In Chinese, He's called Tudi Kong. Tudi is earth or ground. Kong is like deity. That's why you remember in the Bible, there's God and gods. The capital G and the small g. These small g's are basically energy beings. So in the Chinese tradition, the reason they have that altar in the ground is because they want to keep the guy happy. You understand? Look, they're already there, whether you believe in it or not. If they're your buddies and friends, they help you out. You go, so that's dwelling into sorcery and magic. Let's put it this way. People only call it sorcery, magic, witchcraft, and all that because they don't understand it. If they understand it, it's simply spiritual science. So people who don't understand it go, I don't know, it must be magic, whatever. That's because you don't understand. But if you understand it, then you go, oh, if I do this, I think this way, these emotions come in, and then from there it pushes me in this direction, then boom, it manifests this way. It's a process, it's a science. But when you don't understand it, you get scared. That's why one of the aims of my teacher, Grandmaster Tokok Sui, is to empower people by letting them understand what happens in the energy world. Make sense? Now, don't go out and start putting altars on your floor, and your relatives are going to think you're crazy. Some of them already think we're crazy. Don't validate it. I'm just explaining it to you, so when next time you go to a Chinese restaurant, you go, that's what it's for. Now, you have to realize one thing. These are energy beings. So you not necessarily have to have an altar on the ground. When we do meditation Twin Hearts, when we do all these different meditations, you remember we always say, may every person, every being be blessed. You guys remember that? And then after the meditation, we focus on our feet and the base of our spine, and we bless the earth downwards. With what? With golden light. So when you do that, you're already projecting love to them. Make sense? So the physical ritual is important for certain people. But if you understand the concept about it, then you can do your meditation, you can bless the earth, you have the same effect. Let's put it this way. If you were to compare the two, if you have somebody who has an altar, but it's always being bad to people, cheating people, doing stupid things, right? Compared to another person who's kind, who's loving, who's gentle and giving and constantly blessing the earth when they meditate, the guy without the altar will get the favor of these prosperity beings more. Make sense? So don't get fixed. Oh man, I heard Masako was telling, I better go get some altar put in the ground. Yeah, I'm going to get messages and go, oh, you made me look weird. Get that? The key is to understand the concept behind it. All right? Now, let's move on. So it's interesting in the Chinese tradition, unfortunately because of COVID, they don't have a lot of these parades. So if you're in Hong Kong, China, Chinatown, in different parts of the world, oftentimes they have a parade with a lot of firecrackers. And they'll have a lion and a dragon dance and all that. I know some of you who are Chinese now, I'm talking, yeah, I miss those. We grew up with them. Yeah, they're fun. And they're noisy and loud. And the concept is, those firecrackers will scare away demons and monsters. Okay? Now, whether it does that or not, who knows? But in my opinion, this is purely my opinion, the way I understood it is something like this. It's not as much the sound. You know what it is? It's all the people gathering, being very happy, celebrating that event, that actually attracts higher frequency and pushes away anger, depression, and negative emotion. Right? Because if you've ever seen this, they're all there, yeah, the kids are like, oh, all that sound is a sound of celebration. So it's that frequency that attracts energy beings that are happy and prosperous. Make sense? So I'm trying to let you understand the energetic aspect. Now, when it comes to the Chinese zodiac, there's 12. Okay? Now, it's interesting. When you study Chinese astrology, it's like studying Western astrology. Everybody has their opinion, right? They say, okay, if you're Libra, you're this. If you're Sagittarius, you're this. There are certain tendencies and frequencies. However, oftentimes, you talk to two astrologers, you get two different things. True? That same thing with Chinese astrology and any other astrology. That's why the way my teacher explained it, he said, look. The way you do this is you try to understand the essence of what this astrological sign is about. Don't use it as a way to do fortune telling. Because if you do, here's what happens. If you've ever been to a clairvoyant or a psychic, and if you are one, I apologize, I'm not trying to offend anyone. Oftentimes you go to someone, they go, whether palm reading or reading cards, they go, I see that you have some certain self-doubt. You're going to go, let me search my entire data bank, my storage, the last 50 years, 30, I had some doubt. No, she's right. Make sense? Or they go, at some point, there was someone who didn't like you. I'm going, yeah. Get the idea? So, same thing with astrology. Oftentimes, you read something, it says 10 things about, the year of the dragon, the year of the ox, the year of this, year of that. It says 10 things. You go, ooh, 2 of those. Yeah, that's right. Get the idea? So the way I was taught by my teacher, that's not how you look at it. You try to understand it. Okay, what does the ox represent? It represents hard work, perseverance, one-pointedness, and never giving up. Then you proceed with your spiritual practice. You start to understand, how can I apply these teachings? How can I apply these concepts about this astrological sign in making my life better? Make sense? Otherwise, you become a slave to everything that comes down the pipe. That's why people tell me, they go, it's my this sign, this sign, and that sign. I go, that's nice. It's just like, okay, I know you guys are not going to like this, but I'll tell you anyway. In the Prana Krista healing class, gemstones and everything, right? Okay, I'm a little hesitant in saying this, but just understand, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just trying to wake you guys up, okay? So, many years ago, I was walking in the mall with my mother, and we happened to pass by this jewelry store. And she goes, oh, let's take a look. Okay, sure, Mom, let's take a look. And she goes, oh, look at that. It's my birthstone. I'm going, huh? Her birthday in January. Oh, garnet, it's my birthstone. Oh, okay, thank you, Mom. Nice, thank you for letting me know. You want me to get it for you? She goes, no, I already have. Whatever she said. And just kept walking. And I'm just thinking, wow. Birthstone chart. So I asked one of our students, who's a jeweler. He's been in the jewelry business for 40 years already. Edward, if you're listening, this guy's a genius. All our jewelry is made by him, and anyway, he knows what to do with how to pick the stones and energy. So I said, Edward, what is this birthstone chart thingy? He goes, which one? I'm going, what do you mean, which one? And then anyway, make a long story short, sometime in the 1920s, 30s or something, the jewelry industry was taking a slump, going through a slump. And some genius figured, hey, why don't we assign a certain birthstone, a certain stone for every month, and spread it everywhere, and then everybody believes it. So that means every month, January, we'll sell garnet. February, we'll sell this, so it just keeps running on its own, and we don't have to do anything. I go, man, this is smart. Then I found out there's at least 3 lists. Some of you go, I thought it was, but wait, hold on. But you see, that's exactly the point. If you believe that birthstone is for you, you believed it, right? And you looked at, oh yeah, it means if I wear it, I'll be more prosperous, I'll be happy. It did its job. Clear? So same thing with these astrological signs. If you say, oh, the year of this means this, and you look at the positive aspect, and you say, I'm going to use this to make my life better, then good for you. Clear? Otherwise, what happens is this. If you sit down and read it, oh yeah, but it says that people in the year of the ox, they're very bullheaded, they're not too smart, blah, 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 whatever. I'm making this up, huh? Then guess what? If you look at that one and you own it, even though you're smart, you're hardworking, and you're not gullible, you'll become one. Am I getting somewhere? So, here's what we'll do. 2 things. We'll discuss what the bull or the ox represents look at those fine qualities, learn it, acquire it, and imprint it into our system. And then we'll have a short meditation to kind of make the soul, the energy of the soul, even stronger within us, so that for the new year, we can decide how we want our life to be. Let me tell you what I meant. You see, the bull represents many, many things. On the negative side, you can say, that guy's so bullheaded, he doesn't think, he just keeps charging forward, he's so impulsive. That's true. But you can also say the cow, the bull, whatever it is an animal that keeps going. It's very strong. So you can say, yeah, I want to acquire those qualities. So I always thought it's like, if you ever taken Archetype Yoga or the Inner Christianity Revealed class, Grandmaster Chokoksui talks about the Sphinx. Now, the Sphinx is quite interesting. You see it in Egypt, right? But it's actually in the Old Testament and the New Testament. You look at, I know Revelation is it's in Revelation. I forgot what part is in the Old Testament. It talks about certain beings with four faces. Face of a human, a lion, a bull or ox, and an eagle. Now, if you put the whole thing together, if you go to Iran or Iraq, I think it's Iraq, yeah. You also see a certain like composite being where it's got the head of a human, the body of a bull, the paws of a lion, and the wings of an eagle. And that's actually what you call an archetype or a teaching of someone who has attained enlightenment. So I'm not going to go through the entire thing because that's at least a 2-hour talk in those classes, but let's just pull out the part on the bull or the ox. So the bull of the ox represents perseverance. This perseverance in our spiritual path means never give up. Whether in your spiritual practice, in relationships, your health, your physical body, your success, your prosperity, oftentimes people give up too easily. And so perseverance is connected to many chakras. The one I can share with you right now, it's this one over here in between your eyebrows, the Ajna chakra, commonly, mistakenly called the third eye. Some people go, mistakenly. Relax. I'll just go through it quickly. Most people think you have 7 chakras, right? You pick up a book, that's why they assume this is the third eye. The real third eye is actually up here on the forehead. And you don't have 7, you have at least 11 major chakras. If you want to learn more, go to the nearest pranic healing center. They have self-healing classes right now. They talk about it. Okay, so this Ajna, you go to India. I'm oftentimes corrected by our Indian students. Hey, it's not Ajna, it's Agnya. I'm going, yeah, you expect a Chinese dude to speak perfect Sanskrit? You gotta kid me. Actually, that's how my teacher calls it. They just say Ajna. Anyway, don't get stuck with the word. So the Ajna chakra, the word Ajna or Agnya means to direct or to command. So this is the CEO of your chakra system. Okay? Now, this Ajna chakra is also the chakra of what you call active intelligence. It's also the center of your willpower. Now, you have several willpowers. Most of the time, if you study about power or energy, like, oh, I have a lot of power, most books, they will say it's your solar plexus. In pranic healing or hatha yoga, you will learn your power comes from your Ajna chakra. So the question is who's right? They're both right. It depends on what kind of energy you're talking about and what kind of power you're talking about. Your solar plexus is your emotional willpower. That's the willpower of the masses, the general public. That's why if you're wanting to do something, you don't explain the heck out of it. You get them excited and they go, yeah! And they do it. That's why oftentimes, if you see a mob, they're mindless. They just say, yeah, let's do it, man. Why? I don't know, but it's a good thing, right? Feeling. This is the willpower of people who are, let's just say, more advanced spiritually and more educated. So what happens with this one is it's a combination of understanding. That's why in the Kabbalah, in the Tree of Life, this chakra here is called Bina or understanding. Simultaneously, if you're thinking, you're understanding, you're synthesizing information, once you understand it, you cannot help but charge forward, say, you know, this is this, we got to do something about it. That's why it's called active intelligence. Okay? Now, That's the energy of thinking and processing and directing. But directing and intending with no implementation is completely useless. True? Think of people you know who have great ideas. They're very smart, they're very loving, they're very passionate, but their life is still a mess because they lack what? Action. True? That's why, that's a blessing for me. I've been working with Tony Robbins for the last 4 years now, and one thing, I still sit in on his classes, his events, and I'm still learning. Even though I've heard it like 20 times, I still learn something. I sit there, oh, yeah, it's a good reminder. He always talk about what? Massive action. Massive action is your basic chakra. That guy close to your butt. So the basic chakra is the chakra of action. So when we talk about the bull or the bull or the ox, the virtue that's connected is constancy of aim and effort. You know what you want, you think about it thoroughly, and then you act upon it. Otherwise, here's what happens. Many years ago, I was in, I think it was Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. And, one of the students came up, very, very loving, very gentle, very kind person. She said, I really want to open up a big healing center that would include Reiki, massage, and she named 10 different healing modalities. And she goes, I really want to include pranic healing because it's really helped my life. I go, great, fantastic, go for it. And she goes, I want to do this. Okay. I mean, she went on and on that she wants to do it. Okay, good. So I told her, I want to help you come up with a business plan. Intention alone with no structure is useless. That's the way I was taught. So I want to, okay. Next time I see you, show me a business plan. I'll do my best to contribute in any way I can, or I can get you connected with people who can help this happen. She goes, okay. A few months later, went back for another class. I'm still working on it. Okay. 2 years later, I'm still working on it. 5 years later, she's still working on it. Guess what? Nothing. Intention without follow through is useless. You know how many people come to me and say, I want to do this, I want to do that. You know what I say? Great. Show me. I talked to Tony. Same thing. People come up to me, all sorts of people. I want to do this, I want to partner with you. And then he looks at their business plan. A few of them I've talked to Tony about. She goes, and he's really nice. He goes, well, this guy you're talking to, he approached you too, huh? Yeah, I noticed that what he's saying is not sustainable. It doesn't work. I said, okay. But he's kind about it. And then I remember many years ago, same thing with my teacher. Because he travels all over the world. He got people coming up. Hey, I have this idea of this great pyramid thing that you can put in your room and you'll light up your chakras and invite all the aliens in the world. No, anyway. I hear so many of them. And then you know what my teacher says? Great. Keep your mind open. After a few months, I said, Master, what happened? Nothing. Never heard from him again. That's what a lot of people lack. They have great ideas. They're passionate. But they sit on their ass and do nothing. The bull, on the other hand, just keep charging forward. Keep charging forward. Keep charging forward. There's an obstacle. Be like water. Right? That's what Bruce Lee said. You know what Bruce Lee's favorite food in Burger King? Whopper. Okay, anyway, let's focus. So the way my teacher explained the same thing, he goes, if there's an obstacle, if there's a big rock in front of you, a big boulder, be like water. Go to the left, go to the right, below, above. You cannot. Last resort, you blast through it. So the bull or the ox is actually what? Constancy of aim and effort. And without constancy of aim and effort, I don't care what aspects of your life you're at, not going to get anywhere. And that's why one thing I've learned growing up is, I know some of you are not going to like this. I always like to put a disclaimer here. This is just my opinion. I've been taught by my teacher, never be afraid of hard work as long as it's intelligent work. Write it down. Never be afraid of hard work as long as it's what? Intelligent, efficient work. Otherwise, you know what happens? Person's full of great ideas and nothing gets done. Or they keep working and working harder and harder, but with no direction. Nothing gets done either. So that's why it's the virtue of constancy of what? Aim and effort. Not just aim, not just effort. It has to both together. One to set the GPS direction. One is the motor and the machine or the engine to push them to the destination. And if you like to write this down, we've shared this with a lot of people. It's also part of the Prosperity Zen worksheet. If whatever your project is, you ask these few questions. 1, what is your objective? What is it you want? Right there and there, most people fail. True? I've talked to people. What do you want? Oh, I want to be happy. What does that mean? Just no problems. No wonder your life is a mess. No direction. They don't know what they want. Or you hear people, I want to make a lot of money. That's good. What are you doing now? I don't know. Right? What? What is your objective? What do you want? I want to share this with you very quickly. Because many years ago, one of our goddaughters, and I remember she was like 3-4 years old, and her name's Nikki. And I go, family party. Hey, Nikki, what do you want when you grow up? You ask kids like in the party, right? Especially me, I got nothing to say in the party because I don't know what to say. So I would talk to the kids. What do you want? He goes, Uncle, or whatever he called me, he goes, I want to be a doctor. Great. Maybe 6-7 years later, 10 years old, I see her at another family party. Nikki, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. Ooh, hasn't changed. Fast forward my 5-6 years, she's in teenager years. So, hey, Nikki, what do you want? Oh, I'm studying not pre-med, I'm studying biology in school. I love it because I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going, man, this girl is focused. Make a long story short, she went to pre-med, and now she's, I think, in 20s. One of the youngest doctors, and a good one. And I saw that even though when she's like this, all the way to she's like this, there's one pointedness. How many people can say that? Even I can't say that. People like that will always be successful. They know what they want, and they kick their own butt into gear to keep going in that direction. Constancy of aim and effort. So think about it. What? Next one is why. Why do you want to achieve what you want? Because it's nice, I got nothing else to do. Then screw it, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to have, what did Tony said? You have to have a strong enough, compelling reason, like a leverage, to push you there. Look at it this way. If you have a parent or parents that have a sick child, how hard would they work to find treatment for their children? They'll climb any mountain and they will go to anywhere and pay whatever they can, sell anything and everything to get that child well, right? Because that's the compelling reason. In business, it's called hunger or thirst. How hungry are you for that end result? If you kind of go, yeah, it'd be nice, not going to work. So that's where the word passion comes in. Yeah. That's when you engage the mental body and the emotional body. So first one is what? Second one is why. If you can't find a compelling reason, you might as well throw it away. Find another goal. And the third one is how. How? How do you need to get there? Oh, I'm waiting for the download. Okay. How long have you been waiting? Oh, 30 years. Maybe somebody up there waiting is saying, hey, buddy, pick another goal. The how is what you call task management. Task management. You want to get a better job. Why do you want a better job? You don't like the one you have. You need more money. You want to support your children. You want to do this. Okay, that's the why. Then you got to think, how are you going to get there? And the last one is when. So everything that you want to do, you better put a schedule. Without a schedule, nothing happens. True? That's why there's a Chinese saying, a goal without a deadline is just a wish. A goal with a deadline is a real goal. That's why you notice you meet somebody in the street, hey, I've been seeing you for, let's do lunch. If you don't say, oh, what's your phone number? I haven't seen you for a while. When do you want to do it? If you don't get that, you notice 9 times out of 10, nothing happens. I know some of you going, yeah, but I'm a spiritual person. That's too much stress. See this face? That's your answer. Everything has to have a deadline. I remember sitting down with my teacher many years ago in his office. And he looked at me, he goes, how many students have you taught? How many souls have you taught? I go, Master, about this much. He looks at me and goes, And when you want to reach your goal? I go, Master, I don't know. When he comes, he comes. You know what he told me? He goes, my teacher expects me to do a good job. I can do a good job if you are doing a good job. He gave me a schedule. You have to have a schedule. I'm looking at him like, oh, I thought this is spiritual work. Spiritual work is like, whatever. Nope. Spiritual work is, if you look at St. Paul kept going and going and going. He's even more persistent than the Energizer Bunny. Right? He went from city to city spreading the Lord Jesus' teaching. So don't think of spirituality as a bunch of people who are just spacing out all day long and waiting for their download. They might have their spiritual download, but man, as soon as they come in, they run with it. People who are on the spiritual path are people with more energy, so therefore can succeed. The way my teacher explained, he goes, look, he goes like this, and talk about making you squirm in your seat. He looked at me, he goes, how much do you do meditation? Oh, Master, I meditate every day. I do this. Ah, yeah, very good, very good. And how much results have you produced? Well, Master, I'm working on it. You know what he tells me? He goes like this. He goes, the results you produce is a direct manifestation of your spiritual development. Ouch. And then he goes like this. What's the use of having big chakras? What's the use of having big aura if you cannot perform better? I thought about it. I go, he's right. What's the use of having an aircraft carrier, aircraft carrier, huge, and carrying a sack of rice? If you have big aura, big chakras, because of your spiritual practice, that means you should be able to carry more souls on your back towards enlightenment. I'm going, oh. Translation, results count. So the bull, the ox, is telling us in whatever part of your life you want to be successful in, results count, not just intention. Intention come dime a dozen. You know how many people have good intention and still their life is going down the toilet? Because they don't plan, they don't act on it. So if you look at people who are successful, they might not be a spiritual person, don't have all the secrets of the universe, but man, they work their ass off to get to their objective. True? Not true. Now, I'll leave you with one thought. Why is meditation spiritual practice important? Because in everything we're talking about, in every aspect of our life, we are making choices. Some choices are good, some choices are bad, some choices are being made for us. For example, one of the things that we're working on is about our finances. To disintegrate and flush out poverty consciousness. At the same time, you don't want to be excessive. Like, for example, there's certain things you want to buy. You have a budget for it. You go, yeah, should I spend it? Should I not spend it? But if I hesitate in buying that, maybe I'm poverty consciousness. I have poverty. Or if I overspend it, maybe I'm not being smart. So which one is it? Right? Somebody asked me today. She says, she has the budget, but she has to spend this much for this thing. But when she started doubting herself, she goes, I don't know, it's an extra $400 or $500 more for this thing. I can afford it, but should I? Should I not? But if I don't, by hesitating, is it because I have poverty consciousness? Listen carefully. Here's my answer to her. I said, look, you have to weigh everything. Number one, is that $500 worth it for you? Is it something important? Do you have the budget for it? Is it going to put you in a difficult financial situation? So you think about all these things and you make a choice. And she goes, but how do I know it's not because I'm having poverty consciousness of doubt that I cannot afford it? That's why I doubt. Maybe if I have prosperity consciousness, I should just dove in. She goes, no. And then I explained to her. The way I understood it is like this. I said, look, it's as simple as this. When you have a strong connection with who you are, the soul, you are able to, look at me, step back and look at this. All right, is this a good choice of use of money? Is this just because I have that desire? Is it a valid desire? Is it because I'm having self-doubt? Or is it really, this is worth it? Listen and listen carefully. The biggest difference is the ability to step back as the soul, the spiritual self, be able to observe the body and its wants and needs, the emotions and its desires, and the thoughts and its ideas. To be able to observe, you get to ask the question, that interim time to think, is it really worth it? Is it poverty consciousness, or is just I'm being smart with my budget? Now, let's turn the tables around. When the soul is not in control, as soon as something is there, if your emotion body is stronger, but I want it, and you dive in and later on you go, man, I can't believe I did that. True? Not true. That's why spirituality is important. Spirituality gives you the ability to step back, know who you are, regain your power, that you are the soul, to be able to evaluate and make choices. That's exactly what an addiction is not. An addiction is that choices are made by energy, let's just say energies in your chakras that compel you to do something. Think about it. So here's what we're going to do. So this is not all chit chat and talk. I've been yakking for an hour now. I apologize. 45 minutes. We'll do a meditation. And then this is going to be part of what we do in the Prosperity Zen. But a lot of you are probably not there. So I want to at least help you out whether you sign up for it or not. We're going to get rid of, at least energetically, of a few things. One, the thought or the opinion, the idea that you don't have enough money. I always hear people say that, yeah, they want this, but they cannot afford it. I want you to at least disintegrate that, so at least you get to observe, do you really have enough money or not? That's one. Number two, I know you guys are not going to like this. The tendency to spend beyond our means. Believe it or not, I've talked to certain people who think that by being frugal or being thrifty or watching your budget, it's a form of poverty consciousness. And they're broke. Okay? I don't know about you guys, but growing up in a Chinese family, my parents were very strict on how to budget. And it has not led me wrong. And I've had students who are like, I'm prosperity conscious, so they spend left and right, they don't watch it, and it's been 30 years and they're still broke. So you guys decide. So one, we're going to disintegrate what? The thought, the idea there's not enough money. Number two, tendency to overspend. And number three, which is prevalent in a lot of people, that we don't deserve to be successful. Okay? We just dump all that and get rid of it. Let's see what happens. So what I want you to do now is I want you to just ask yourself, close your eyes, ask yourself a simple question. In the last few years, have you ever worried that, oh, how are you going to pay your bills? Or is the income that you have sustainable? And are you going to be able to support yourself or your family? Just ask that question. And if there's any type of doubt, I want you to note how intense that doubt is. 10 is worse, 0 is none. I just wanted you to give a number. That way you can have a before and after comparison. Okay? Okay, next. I want you to evaluate, just think. Do you have a tendency to have impulsive buying? Like you walk into a store and you go, oh yeah, I already have 20 pairs of shoes, but that extra one is different. Just think. Okay, open your eyes. Let me help you out. There's one easy way to do this. All right? Imagine that you're evaluating your life from somebody else's perspective, like it's someone else's life. And I'll explain why. Okay? Let's do this again. Observe this person, which is really you, but just observe from a third person. Does this person actually have financial worries, cares, and concerns? Give it a number. 10 is worse, 0 is none. Okay? I know some of you are fast. The second one. Does this person have tendency to overspend, impulsive buying, that they don't feel content if they don't spend money? Okay. Again, 10 is worse, like, yeah, man, it's really bad. Or, yeah, not really. Okay. Third one. Come on, close your eyes. Let's do this. At any time in the past, you decide the time frame that, there's an opportunity in front of you, but you don't feel worthy. You just go, I don't know, man. I don't know if I have the skills to fulfill that. Even though it's right in front of you, you start having self-doubt. Anything. It could be a job, could be an investment, it could be someone wants to pull you into their team at work, and you go, I don't know if I can pull my own weight. Whatever it is. In other words, unworthiness to be successful. Or, I'll put it in plain English, you don't feel you're good enough. Nobody has to know. I just want you to do a self-evaluation, but it's kind of evaluating yourself from a third person's viewpoint. All right. Done? Okay. Open your eyes. All right. Here's what we're going to do. Open your hands. Let's ask for blessing. To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother, we humbly ask for your blessings. To all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Of course, to my teacher, Master Chokoksui, Mahaguji Mailing, thank you. In full faith, so be it. Okay. There's an I am affirmation taught to me by my teacher. We've done it many times online. It's on in his book, Achieving Oneness with a Higher Soul, and different books. So we'll use that affirmation to do this. Look at me. We're going to step back, affirm who we are as the soul, and look at all these feelings and thoughts are basically different types of energy. Okay? Okay, put your hand like this. Tap your crown. Repeat after me. I am that. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotions. I'm not any of my thoughts. I'm not even the mind. The body, the emotions, and the mind are just instruments of the soul. I am the soul. Be still. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am that. Just be still. I am the soul. I, the soul, am one with my higher soul. I am that, the higher soul. I am connected in one to the divine spirit in me. I am a child of God. I am one with God. I am one with all. There is only oneness. Just be still. I am that. Can you maintain that stillness? You say, I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence to regulate my mind and my thoughts. I am a spiritual being of divine love to be able to forgive and love unconditionally and regulate my emotions. I am a spiritual being of divine power to regulate the movements and the tendencies of my physical body. I am the soul. I am the thinker, the feeler, and the mover. And so it is. Now, open your eyes. Don't worry, it won't go away. In front of you, just imagine, like a movie screen on the wall. Now, all those thoughts, all those feelings that we talk about, those three questions about having enough money or not, tendency to overspend, and not being good enough, all those feelings, thoughts, ideas, whether it's pictures or movies, put it on the screen. Just like watching a movie. That allows you to watch it like you're watching someone's life. Just watch it. Very interesting. Just watch. Remember, you're the observer. You cannot observe if you're in it. Just step back. You're watching it. Okay, put your hand like this. Imagine you have a mound of like dark blue gooey paint, covered in dark blue paint. Come on, move your hands. Okay, covered in dark blue paint. Okay, put your hand like this. Say cut, disconnect. All right, how do you feel? Anybody feel like, that's weird? It's like blank. We're not done yet. Follow me, put your hand like this. Grab that movie screen, that cloth, whatever you call it, yank it off the wall. Crumple it. Crumple it. Come on. Hold it with one hand, your left hand. Take your right hand. Follow me. These thoughts and emotions are not the I. These are not me. They have no power over me. I am the soul. I created these, but they are not me. Cut, disintegrate. Okay, visualize a violet fire, or if you have the salt water, go say, disintegrate, disintegrate, disintegrate. Cut, disconnect. Now close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Just breathe. Just be still. We'll chant Om to flush it out even more. Tap your crown. Put your hands in blessing position. Focus on your crown. That's the input. Your hands and your feet are outputs. However, I'm going to have you put your attention outside of your hand. Not on your hand, but 1 foot away. You heard the saying, energy follows thought. If you focus on your hand, the energy gets stuck there. So you want to focus outside of it, okay? Concentrate on your crown, your hands and your feet. Feel the spiritual energy like a waterfall going through you. And let's chant Om verbally. We'll help you out. Okay, ready? Keep your hands like that. And we'll chant together. Simultaneously, we'll help disintegrate it. Go. Om. 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 Let it drain out of your hands and feet. Om. 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 Okay, just be still. Just let the energy flow through you. This part will be done for you. I'm not the one to do it. They're doing it. Just be receptive. Om. 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 Cut, disintegrate. Okay, just be still. Just keep your hands where they are. Put your attention 1 to 2 feet outside of your hands and your feet. Keep them there. Just be still. Keep your tongue on your palate. Some of you might still feel it draining. Just let it flow. Now, put your hands on your lap, palms up. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your tongue on your palate. Just be still. The divine energy is entering your crown. Your crown is filled with beautiful golden light. Your forehead, your ajna chakras are filled with golden light. Your back head chakras are filled with golden light. Your throat chakras are filled with golden light. Your back heart chakras are filled with golden light. The golden light from your back heart is entering your body and going to your front heart and filling up your entire astral body, flooding you with waves of love, sweetness, joy, and happiness. The liquid golden light is pouring down to your front and back solar plexus, navel, sex, and your basic chakras. Your entire body is saturated with this beautiful golden light. Just be still. From the heart of God, may you be blessed with joy, with peace, with abundance and prosperity, with good health and spiritual oneness. So be it. Just be still. Just be receptive. Repeat after me. I completely, deeply, permanently, and gratefully accept, absorb, assimilate all the divine healing energies and the prosperity energy. As I become more prosperous, I promise to utilize my resources properly to improve my life and the lives of others. So it is. Be still and assimilate. Okay, let's give thanks to the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother. Thank you. To all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, thank you for your blessings in full faith. To my teacher, Master Tokok Sui Mahaguji Meling, thank you in full faith. So be it. All right, why don't you open your eyes? Okay, so you remember those three things we asked you to think about, right? You give it a number. 10 is worse, 0 is none. And then normally in class, I'll ask a show of hands, but we can't do this here. So why don't you reevaluate yourself? What do you think of the part on money? How's your tendency to overspend? Think of something that you want to buy, you want to get right now. How do you feel about it? Is it like, huh? Or is it like, maybe I don't really need it. Or maybe there's a better way of getting it. And the third one, what if somebody presents to you, hey, you know, I want you to be my business partner. Or there's this job that you're really qualified for. How do you feel? Do you still hesitate? You go, yeah, I can take that. Only you can answer those things. All we did right now was do a quick cleansing because of time. I talked too long. I apologize. So you decide for yourself. The idea is you keep flushing this stuff out of your system. It allows the soul. Look at me. The easiest way to understand it is like this. The soul, the spiritual self, in its incarnation is wrapped, like a wrapping. It's wrapped in the physical body, emotional body, and mental body. It's like a cocoon. Okay? So what happens is there's a tendency. Meet my buddy again. So imagine I'm the soul. In learning our lessons, the soul puts a portion of itself into a physical, emotional, mental body. A human suit, if you will. So what happens is when the thoughts, the emotions, and the tendencies of the body start to take over our lives, which includes addictions, wanting to spend money or worries, cares, concerns, whatever it is, that means the soul forgot that this is not the I. So when you do meditation, you're doing this. Oh, I'm the spiritual self that is using this. So in the Buddhist tradition, they call that entanglement. Make sense? I know some of you are going to say, I came here for a Chinese New Year lecture meditation. Well, I'm wearing red. My body's Chinese, so there's your Chinese. Okay? But I think, personally, it all goes back to the same lesson. Who am I? Because when you start with who am I, and you know who you are, that allows you to control your world. Otherwise, the world controls you. Okay? So, that's that. Anyway, I want to wish all of you a Happy New Year. By the way, here's the funny part. Huh? In the Chinese tradition, every time when your body's born, you're already 1 year old. So your regular calendar, if you're 20, in the Chinese calendar, you're 21. You still add 1 year. So some of you like it, some of you don't, so you decide. If your body's younger, you want to be older, you give your Chinese like 1 year older, it's still true. Okay, anyway. 恭喜发财. 恭喜 is congratulations, 发财 is be rich and be prosperous, because you are blessed so you can bless others. We talked about that this morning. If you're blessed with massive prosperity and abundance and all that, it's not so you hoard it, so you can serve others. If you really want to be happy, that's the key. You're blessed so you can bless others with your existence and your resources. Okay? Namaste, everyone. Thank you very much for your patience. I know we went way over time. So God bless, and we will see you. Oh, one last thing. Valentine's Day is coming up. So the free, the most powerful English word in the universe, free. Okay. The free relationship healing is still going on. Go to mastercode.org. You click on it. You register. It doesn't cost you anything. The first part is how to love yourself, how to learn to love yourself. And then part 2 is how, as you love yourself, let that love radiate out and extend in loving other people. Okay? So make sure you do it. That's only good for 7 days from the day you connect. So drag your loved one to watch it, because oftentimes we don't realize that we only look at the faults of other people. We don't look at the good things they've done. You notice that? Like if you're angry with someone, you take a microscope of every tiny screw up and you forget all the good things they've ever done for you. So we talk about that in detail, and we have actually a meditation to help you flush that stuff out. Okay? What else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, one last thing. Speaking of the bull, Taurus, it's called the full moon of Taurus, or the Wesak festival, is the most powerful full moon of the year. That's actually happening. It's normally full moon of May, but it's actually happening, I think, April 26. So 3 most powerful full moons: Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. I hope I got those right. Okay. Aries is next month. That's the preparation. That's when the energy builds up. The peak is April 26, which is the Taurus full moon. That's the most powerful full moon of the year. If you're going to do one meditation of full moon, that should be the one you catch. However, here's the problem. If you don't sufficiently clean your system, the energy coming down could be overwhelming. So anyways, if you join us, we'll make sure to make announcements of, make sure you join us next month, the month after, which is the Taurus full moon. And then Gemini, I hope I've got that right, is the distribution of energy. These are the 3 most powerful full moon. And just like we did last year, 7 days before the full moon of Taurus, the Wesak full moon, we're going to have 7 days of purification. I know a lot of you joined us where every single day we have at least 2 hours of lecture and meditation leading up to it. And most people thought that, man, that was the most intense spiritual practice I've ever done. Because you know why? You prepped it for 7 days. So anyway, we'll just letting you know ahead of time. Okay, namaste everyone. Thank you very much. 恭喜发财, be happy, be prosperous, be healthy, and be a blessing to others. God bless. Take care. Bye. Okay, turn this off.